Good morning. This is an instructional video on how to string and unstring and adjust the string on one of my paddle bows. I do not use the 2-loop strings that you'll find on every other one's bows. I guess I'm just being difficult. One reason I like to have one end tied and then the other one with a slip loop is because it gives you an adjustability of brace height. The more important reason, though, is that this string mimics, even though it's B50, with the knots that you use in the stringing method, more closely mimics an actual, say, naturally based string, whether or not it's rawhide or sinew. They don't come with 2-loop strings, although you can easily plate a loop into a sinew string. That loop turns into a sliding loop. And I'll demonstrate what I mean. First, though, before I even start that, I need to talk about properly stringing a bow. Any bow. 2-loop string bows, my tied-on string bows. The important point you need to really develop as a growing seed in your being is that when you're stringing a bow, you need to maintain contact at the tips and center of the handle. If you're stringing a bow and you've got contact at the tips and you're putting the stress and stringing like in the limb, either limb, you're overstressing that limb and you can damage your bow. That's why people use bow stringers to maintain that perfect pressure, but you don't need a bow stringer. I just threw my hat on the ground. I'll stand back here, and whether or not it's a bandana, a hat, or anything clean so you're not getting into the ground, it gives me a perfect way of stringing the bow and unstringing it without twisting the limbs. Doesn't work so great with a recurve bow, but with a straight limb bow, this is your ticket. Limb on the ground, hand up here, and knee. Center of the handle, knee, center of the handle. Do not have your knee down here or up here. Center of the handle. And if it's a really long bow, you just need to tip it down. If it's a short bow, you just angle it this way. But center of the handle. Now watch this. Do not ever try to slide that loop down the limb of my paddle bows. I have wide limbs, but I also have pin knocks. Boink. And by pin knock, this is exactly what I mean. It's shaped like a pin. That string will just slide off the end. Slide off the end. Simple, huh? Okay, my paddle bows come with the string already set at, this one might be a little on the low side, but it's easily adjustable. 4.5 inches. It needs to be at 5 or 5 1/4 inches. 5 or 5 1/4 inches from the inside of the handle. Never 6, never 7, 5 to 5 1/4 inches. Okay, I need to raise it a little bit. Notice which way you need to spin it to tighten the string. Watch this. I'm tightening the twist on the string. And I have raised it to 5 3/4 inches. I'm going to pop that off the end. Untwist it, loosening the twist. 5 1/4 inches. Beautiful method. Okay, I was saying before that my paddle bows, they come with the string already set. You may have to adjust a little bit as the string stretches. That's okay. Let me get it to the point where you shall see it in awe as you take it out of the package. Whoa, look at that. All I needed to do is make that slip loop a little bigger. And it is now set. You may have to adjust it here and there, but just pop it off and twist it to adjust it. Do string it as it was set. slide it up. I don't do this whenever I don't, bother with this, measuring it. I just kind of know. There we go. To unstring it, I'm going to tighten it a little bit because it's a little on the low side. Twist it. Make that loop big. Slide it back up the limb. Boink. There we go. And that's simply how you string and unstring it. Now we're going to get into some detail on how to tie that knot. I'm going to get really close. I'm going to go over this again. If you notice this end, I don't have a floppy string. I've got some extra, but what I did was I just twisted that extra around my main bowstring. I'll call this the main bowstring. Separated the two plies and slid it in. So I'm just going to not do that. I'm going to redo it. There we go. And then I'm going to pop this end off. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm untying my knot here. There are two phases, and I'm not going to actually string it like this. I'm just going to go over the knot so you can see it. There are two phases. The first phase is establishing your brace height. The second phase is securing the knot. Got it? The first phase is establishing your brace height, and the second phase is securing the knot. When I'm tying a knot, I go this side. I can see that string going around that tip, so it's on my side. You go around and then go under. I'll do that again. Go around the tip and then go under. See that? Do it at a different angle. When I'm tying my knot, the slip loop is on that other pin knock. I just have it slid up the limb so I've got some slack here. Go around the knock and then go under. And this secures it. You can pinch it if you want, but this secures it, and you can look down to see how high the brace is, and this secures it. I'll do that again. The first part of tying your knot is establishing brace height. Go around that knock and then go under, and that'll secure it. Just a little bit. I mean, you can't walk away, it'll undo it. Okay, you look down and you see that the brace height is good. Then you go around the opposite way. I've got it at that point. You go around the opposite way. Go around the opposite way. Now this is where I hope the camera can pick it up. You take this end and you go under your string because you're in the process of tying a knot. You see that loop right there? That's where the end goes through. Boink. Do it again. From underneath and then go through your loop. You now have two, I believe they're square knots, and your bowstring is tied. I'm going to do that in one fluid. Like, I shall do that in one fluid movement. My knee is in the center of the handle. That other tip is in my hat on the ground. I go over that tip and then under. I have established my brace height. Now I'm going the opposite way, and then again go under, through the loop, again under, and through the loop. You have two square knots. One more time, and I'm going to do it really slowly because you may have one of these bows in your hand. And I'm going to stand back first. Okay, so I'm in position. The bow is flexed. I believe it's flexed to the right degree. I go over the knock and around, and then under that string. Go the opposite way. See, it secures it. This is intuitive. And then under and through the loop Once? No, you go through it twice. Oops. How about one more time? Okay, that loop, again, is secured on that pin knock down there. Got my knee dug in to the handle. I take my line and I go over the pin knock, under the string to make it bind, and then I continue that around that side, under the string, so I have a loop to make a knot, slide it up, and again, slide it up. Now that you have that totally in your head, let's do it in real time. Okay, the tip is dug into my head on the ground, flexing at center handle so all the forces are distributed. This hand is right at that pin knot, and I go around that tip, starting on my side, underneath the string, and I pull it, and I looks about good, tighten it up a little bit, go around the opposite side, under the string, into the loop, pull up, under the string again, through the loop, pull up. And measure it. So a little less than 5. I was actually kind of scaring you. If you do 5.5 brace height, you'll be fine. I need to raise it a little bit, so instead of retying my knot, I'm going to figure out which way that's going to make it looser. I'm going to twist that a few times. It is actually pretty effective. Slide it back over the knot. Measure it again. Almost 5.5 inches. Shh, don't tell anyone. I would shoot it at 5.5. There we go. Now you're asking me, what about this thing? That's kind of untidy. So I'll tell you what to do with that thing. Unstring it, de-string it. There we go. Just let it hang. I'm going to do some twisting here. F. I twist this one, the main line. It's going to change the brace height, so I'm just going to twist this little short end. It's hard to explain this. Counterclockwise, counterclockwise. Take the little end counterclockwise and go around the main string counterclockwise. Just do that a few times. Everything counterclockwise. Counterclockwise twist. Whoops. Ew. Counterclockwise around the string. Then open 2 plies up. You can make a hole in there by just untwisting it. And it's now secured. I can just adjust that when I get it back on the bow. I'm sliding it up. If it's out of camera view, I'm just sliding it up, and I'm just going to pull that. There we go. Now I got this dopey little end here. I can make that loop bigger and then slide it right back up. Getting it ready. Center of handle. A little less than 5. I changed it when I was doing that. I twisted it tighter. There we go. Nice. Got a little too tight, got a little too ambitious. Might seem like a lot of work, you know, having the 2 loop string. But the great thing about having a tied-on knot, and then this doohickey right here, is that see how it grips? It's gripping tightly. And then it's gripping tightly right there. You have basically a 0% chance to cause any splitting on that because it's holding it tightly. And again, this is a very primitive and old way to string a bow, because you didn't have B50 back in the day. You had sinew, rawhide, other natural materials, and it's easy to plait like a loop up there, but because those materials generally change length in different humidity, or if they get damp or what have you, you can adjust it. And also, if you're going to be hunting all day, you know, this bow's going to be strung all day long. You want that first shot as soon as you string it to be the same as that shot after 8 hours of being brazed. And if you have it on a little lower side for that, it's going to change, you know, the ability of the bow to cast an arrow after a really long brace height time. Again, I guess I'm just being difficult. Okay, now, my paddle bows, this one is when it's laying on the ground, and I measure the tip from the table, and then I turn it around and I measure that tip. This one is just absolutely even Steven. I usually shoot for a ½ inch difference, because that's going to be your bottom limb. The stiffer limb is the bottom limb. And because you're not shooting center shot, it's good to actually have a difference of a ½ inch in here. It's good to have it even Steven. It's just good all the way around. And so, if you receive one of my bows, you're going to find a burned arrow or Boyer's mark in there. That's the bottom limb. What else should I say? That's about it. It's been greased twice. You have to maintain the greasing, heat it up and rub grease into it every so often. You don't want to have a dry surface. You don't want to have it so greasy that like it's going to get on your hands and stuff like that. But that's also part of your responsibility. I like this. Tied-on string, you're an active part of your bow. You're not just going to slide a loop on there and have at it. You have a learning curve. These are beautiful. I love paddle bows. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just put it in the comment section. I'm going to get back to work. I have pin knocks to put into these two bows, and then they're both going to be painted. This one is in my crest, dyed tips in dark cherry, and then 3 spots. Have a great day, and thank you for your support, and bye paddle bows.